Look who decided to show up at a real workplace. My brother-in-law Marcus stood in the lobby of Patterson and Associates, smirking at me while his junior associates gathered around like vultures. I'd come to drop off paperwork my sister forgot at Sunday dinner, wearing jeans and a hoodie because I'd been working from home all morning. What Marcus didn't know was that the name on the building, Patterson, was mine. Probably here begging for a job. Marcus announced loudly enough for the entire reception area to hear. My wife's unemployed sister. Been freelancing for what, 5 years now, Claire? Must be tough living off savings. The associates laughed dutifully. Marcus was a 7th-year associate, hungry for partnership, and they knew better than to cross him. The receptionist, however, had gone pale. "Mr. Holloway," she said nervously. "Perhaps we should." "It's fine, Amy," Marcus interrupted, waving her off. "Claire and I are family. I can speak freely. In fact, Claire, since you're here, I should introduce you to what real lawyers look like. These are my associates. They bill 2,000 hours a year, close major deals, make actual money. You know, the opposite of whatever it is you do on your laptop at coffee shops." I stood there holding my sister's folder, saying nothing. Amy, the receptionist, was frantically typing something on her computer, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "What kind of freelancing do you even do?" Marcus continued, warming to his audience. "Let me guess. Social media management? Virtual assistant work? Maybe you sell stuff on Etsy." His associate snickered. "Legal consulting," I said quietly. "Legal consulting," Marcus repeated, his voice dripping with condescension. "Right. With what credentials? You went to some state school for undergrad, didn't even finish law school." "I finished," I corrected. "Yale Law, class of 2016. That stopped him for half a second. "Yale? That's not what Jennifer told me." "Jennifer doesn't know everything about me," I said. My sister and I had grown distant over the years, especially after she married Marcus 3 years ago. She knew I'd gone to law school but assumed I'd dropped out when I stopped talking about it. Marcus recovered quickly. "Okay, Yale Law. Impressive. So why aren't you working at a real firm? Why the freelancing act? Couldn't cut it in big law." "Something like that," I said. "See, that's the problem with people like you," Marcus said, turning to his associates. "Prestigious degree, all that potential, but no follow-through. No work ethic. I bet you couldn't handle the hours, the pressure, the actual demands of practicing law at an elite firm." "Mr. Holloway," Amy's voice was urgent now. "I really need to. Amy, I'm mentoring my sister-in-law. Please hold my calls." Marcus turned back to me. "You know what? I'm feeling generous. I'll talk to the hiring committee. Maybe we can find you something in document review. Part-time contract work. It's not glamorous, but at least you'd be contributing to society instead of pretending to work from Starbucks." "That's very kind," I said evenly. "I'm serious. Patterson and Associates is always looking for contract attorneys. The pay is decent, maybe $50 an hour. Probably more than you're making now. What do you say? Want me to put in a word?" The elevator dinged behind us. I watched Marcus's face, waiting for the moment everything would change. He had no idea what was about to happen. How could he? We'd only met a handful of times at family events, and I deliberately kept my professional life separate from my personal one. "Mr. Holloway." Amy was standing now, her voice almost panicked. "The founding partner is Marcus, my boy." A booming voice filled the lobby. "Gerald Thompson, the firm's managing partner and my mentor for the past 8 years, strode out of the elevator with his arms spread wide. I heard we had a special visitor." "Where is There she is." Gerald crossed the lobby in 4 long strides and pulled me into a bear hug. "Claire Patterson, the reclusive genius herself. What brings you to the office? We never see you anymore. Too busy revolutionizing corporate law from your home office." I hugged him back, watching Marcus's face over Gerald's shoulder. "Just dropping off some papers for Jennifer. Didn't mean to intrude." "Intrude? You founded this firm. You can intrude whenever you want." Gerald released me and turned to Marcus, his smile broad. "Marcus Holloway, correct? Jennifer's husband? Has anyone introduced you to Claire yet?" Marcus's mouth opened and closed like a fish. I mean, Claire Patterson," Gerald announced to the assembled associates, most of whom were staring in confusion. "Yale Law 2016, youngest person to pass the New York bar in the last decade. Architect of the Patterson method for corporate restructuring, which, by the way, is now taught at Harvard Business School, and founding partner of this firm." "Founding partner? One of the associates whispered. 8 years ago, fresh out of Yale, Claire came to me with a revolutionary approach to corporate law, Gerald continued, oblivious to Marcus's growing horror. She'd identified gaps in how firms handled mid-sized corporate clients. Too small for the white shoe firms to care about. Too complex for local practices to manage properly. She proposed a hybrid model, elite expertise at boutique firm prices. I pitched it to several firms, I said quietly, still watching Marcus. Gerald was the only one who listened. Listened? I mortgaged my house to fund it. Gerald laughed. Best investment I ever made. Claire structured everything, the business model, the fee arrangements, the specializations. She recruited half our current partners. We went from 3 lawyers in a shared office to 65 attorneys across 4 offices. Patterson and Associates is named after her, Marcus. Always has been. Marcus had gone completely white. But Jennifer said you were freelancing. She said you worked from home, that you didn't have a real job. I do work from home, I confirmed. I handle our most sensitive clients remotely, the ones who need absolute discretion. Last year alone, I managed 14 corporate acquisitions worth a combined $3.2 billion. I just prefer not to come to the office unless necessary. Billion, Marcus whispered. Claire's worth approximately $40 million personally, Gerald added cheerfully. Her profit share from the firm, plus her consulting fees. She's the highest earning attorney in the state under 40. Didn't Jennifer tell you? Jennifer doesn't know, I said. I don't discuss my work with family. Keeps things simpler. Amy finally found her voice. Ms. Patterson, I tried to warn Mr. Holloway, but he... It's fine, Amy, I said, smiling at her. No harm done. Marcus was just offering to help me find document review work. Very generous of him. Gerald's eyebrows shot up. Document review? Claire, you haven't reviewed documents since your 2L summer. You revolutionized how we approach corporate law. You've been cited by the Supreme Court twice. Why would you owe? Understanding dawned on his face. He looked at Marcus. Oh my. Marcus was staring at the wall behind reception, where a large photograph hung that I'd somehow never noticed before. It showed the firm's founding partners at our launch party 8 years ago. Gerald, me, and 2 others. My name was engraved on a plaque below. Claire Patterson, founding partner. I didn't know, Marcus said weakly. Jennifer never said. I thought you were unemployed. She said you were struggling. I'm not struggling, I said simply. I just don't broadcast my success. Different values, I guess. One of the associates, a young woman who'd been silent until now, spoke up. Ms. Patterson, I used your acquisition framework in the Henderson deal last month. It was brilliant. You saved our client $4 million in restructuring costs. Thank you, I said. Nice work on the Henderson matter. I saw your brief. Very thorough. She looked like she might cry with happiness. Marcus looked like he might be sick. Claire, Gerald said carefully. Is there something I should know about? You seem tense. Not at all. Just dropping off Jennifer's papers. I handed them to Amy. Can you make sure she gets these? Of course, Miss Patterson. I turned to leave, but Marcus's voice stopped me. Claire, wait. I'm sorry. I had no idea who you were. I never meant to. Insult me? Mock my career? Offer me document review work at my own firm? I turned back slowly. Marcus, you didn't insult me. You revealed who you are. Someone who judges people based on appearances, who assumes unemployment equals worthlessness, who thinks success only counts if it looks a certain way. I was joking, he said desperately. Family banter. I didn't mean. You meant every word, I interrupted. You wanted to humiliate me in front of your colleagues, establish dominance, show off. It's fine. I've dealt with men like you my entire career. The difference is, most of them don't realize they're doing it at my firm. Gerald was frowning now. Marcus, you're up for partner review next month, correct? Marcus went even paler. Yes, sir. We'll need to discuss this. Partnership at this firm requires more than billable hours. It requires respect, collegiality, and judgment. This, he gestured vaguely at the lobby. This shows a profound lack of judgment. Gerald, it's fine, I said quickly. Marcus made a mistake. We all do. You're too generous, Claire. You always have been. Gerald looked at Marcus. But she's right. Everyone makes mistakes. The question is whether you learn from them. Consider this a learning opportunity, Mr. Holloway. Yes, sir, Marcus said, his voice barely audible. I collected my things and headed for the elevator. Behind me, I could hear Gerald already launching into a story about my first major case, the associates gathering around to listen. Marcus stood alone by the reception desk, staring at nothing. My phone buzzed as I reached my car. A text from Jennifer. Marcus just called. He sounds weird. Something about you being his boss. What's going on? I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed back. Long story. We should talk. Are you free for lunch? Always for you. Noon at Luigi's. Perfect. I drove to the restaurant thinking about how to explain 8 years of deliberate silence to my sister. How to tell her that I'd built an empire while she thought I was barely scraping by. How to explain that I'd kept my success secret not out of shame, but out of a desire to be loved for who I was, not what I'd accomplished. Jennifer was already at our usual table when I arrived, her face full of questions. Okay, what the hell is going on? Marcus called me in a panic. He said you're a founding partner at his firm. That can't be right. I sat down across from her. It's right. I founded Patterson and Associates 8 years ago, right out of law school. Gerald Thompson and I built it together. Patterson and Associates. Patterson. She stared at me. The firm is named after you? Yes. And you never told me? I tried, I said gently. Remember when I graduated Yale? I told you I was starting a firm. You said that was cute, that I should get some real experience first. When I mentioned it a year later, you said you were glad I'd found something to keep me busy. Jennifer's face crumpled. I didn't take you seriously. No one did, which was fine. I didn't need validation. I just needed to build something meaningful. Marcus said you're worth $40 million. Approximately. Give or take a few million depending on the quarter. And I thought you were struggling. I've been sending you grocery money. Her voice broke. Oh my God, you've been accepting my grocery money. You wanted to help, I said. I appreciated the gesture. The money goes to charity anyway. Charity? She laughed, but there were tears in her eyes. Well, I'm sending you $200 for groceries. You're managing billion-dollar acquisitions. Different kinds of wealth, I said. You have a husband, a beautiful home, a life you're proud of. That's valuable too. A husband who just humiliated you at your own firm. She wiped her eyes angrily. Marcus told me what he said. All of it. I'm so embarrassed, Claire. Don't be. He didn't know. That's not an excuse. He assumed you were unemployed and treated you like garbage because of it. What does that say about him? About us? I didn't have an answer for that. Why didn't you tell me? Jennifer asked finally. Why keep it secret? Because I wanted a relationship with you that wasn't about money or status. I wanted a sister who called me because she missed me, not because she was impressed by my success. Does that make sense? It makes sense, she said quietly. But Claire, I would have been proud of you. I am proud of you. You should have let me celebrate your accomplishments. Maybe. I signaled for the waiter. But then we wouldn't have had these lunches. You would have been too intimidated to send me grocery money. You would have treated me differently. Like Marcus did? Exactly like Marcus did. Just in the opposite direction. We ordered wine and pasta, and slowly the conversation shifted. Jennifer asked about the firm, about my work, about the life I'd been living in parallel to hers. I told her about late nights drafting acquisition agreements, about impossible clients and brilliant associates, about the satisfaction of building something from nothing. What happens now? She asked over tiramisu. With Marcus. That's up to him, I said. Gerald's fair. If Marcus learns from this, grows, becomes a better lawyer and better person, he'll make partner. If he doesn't, he won't. It's that simple. And with us? Our relationship. I reached across the table and took her hand. Nothing changes. You're still my sister. I'm still the woman who accepts your grocery money and works from coffee shops. I just happen to also be a founding partner of a major law firm. You make it sound so normal. It is normal. My normal, anyway. My phone buzzed. A text from Gerald. Marcus just submitted a formal apology. Very thorough. Kid might have potential after all. Also, the associates are now calling you the phantom partner. You're a legend. I showed Jennifer the message. She laughed despite herself. The phantom partner. That's perfect. I prefer to think of myself as selectively visible, I said. Claire. Jennifer's voice was serious now. Thank you. For not destroying Marcus's career. You could have. You had every right. He's your husband, I said simply. And maybe he'll learn something. Maybe this will make him a better person. Maybe, she agreed. Or maybe I married a man who judges people based on their bank accounts and job titles. That's for you to figure out. I said gently. I just provide the legal expertise. The personal stuff is all you. We finished lunch and hugged goodbye in the parking lot. Jennifer held on a little longer than usual. I love you, she said. Successful or struggling, famous or anonymous, founding partner or freelancer. I love you. I love you too, I said. Now go home and have a serious conversation with your husband about respect and assumptions and how to treat family. Already planning it, she said grimly. I drove back to my home office, a converted guest house behind my actual house, the one Jennifer had never visited because I'd always insisted on meeting her out, and sat down at my desk. 3 new acquisition proposals waited in my inbox. A prospective client wanted a consultation. Gerald had forwarded an article about corporate restructuring that cited my work 4 times. The phantom partner, the associates called me. The reclusive genius. The founding partner nobody knew. I preferred to think of myself as simply Claire. A woman who'd built an empire quietly, who'd revolutionized corporate law from a home office, who'd proven that success didn't require performance or validation or anyone else's approval. Marcus had called me a charity case. He'd mocked my freelancing, my coffee shop work, my apparent lack of ambition.